G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. As always, it is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest game in the world, rugby. Yes, Super Rugby review, Brumbies versus Fijian Drua in a cold, rainy night in Canberra with the referee, Nick Berry. Yes, we'll talk about him in a second. First up, the performance from the Fijian Druas was outstanding, especially from the 4-pack. I thought the scrum, the line out, the rolling maul was absolutely outstanding, especially considering the Brumbies has a 4-pack that is stacked with Wallabies, stacked with world-class, props that have over 100 test caps, and the Honduras was able to dominate the scrummaging, squeezing out penalties, getting one yellow card, and was able to control the game up front and in the area that traditionally the Honduras were struggling. Right, it wasn't that long ago when the Crusaders B team was dominating the Fijian Druas in the scrummaging, in the rolling maul, in the lineouts, and how thing has completely turned around. And this was an absolutely outstanding performance, considering this was against the Brumbies. They were able to assert the dominance upon, and Masake Donge was incredible tonight, especially in that scrummaging. I was just super impressed by what the Honduras was able to achieve. When they had that penalty, they went for the scrum, and they were able to squeeze out more penalties right in front of the Brumbies goal line. And the Brumbies were at risk of giving out penalty tries at one point. It was very impressive from the Honduras. Outside of that, I thought maybe the follow-up play from the Honduras could have set up a little bit better. Maybe have a special sort of move out of the scrums or even the line out mauls. A lot of those set piece seems to be that the forwards did the job and the backs were kind of just like YOLOing it a little bit. I thought that's probably something that Honduras can follow up a little bit and really make that set piece a little bit more impactful, have that strike rate a little bit higher. They had a lot of opportunities inside the Brumbies 22 with those set piece, but they weren't able to convert all of that into points. So a little bit of improvements there. Despite the rain, the handling from the Honduras was quite good, but the kicking game was lacking a little bit. The Brumbies were able to control the areas where they wanted to play the game. And finally, I thought the penalties was really against the Honduras. The Brumbies conceded 17 penalties tonight and only one yellow card for a deliberate cynical killing the ball at the breakdown, which would have been a yellow card anyway without penalty warnings. And I thought the referee, Nick Berry, was really soft on Brumbies when it comes to giving out those yellow cards. I mean, the Brumbies should have got at least one additional yellow card for repeated penalties just because they were literally just throwing penalties away right in front of the goal line, and they were able to get away with it without any severe punishment. I thought that was very poor from the referee's regard there. Outside of that, there was one try which I thought was 100. Again, this is something that I argue with people online every week, and there has been massive confusion in the way that the Super Rugby has been refereed, how the try has been determined, and the way that the Super Rugby determines a try or no try is actually wrong. And it was shown again tonight. There was multiple occasions, like last week, Suliasi Vunivalu had a try scrapped from him from the Reds because the referee didn't know the law. And this week again, the Fijian Drua had a try scrapped because the referees didn't know the laws of rugby. And this is not a new law. This is law that's been introduced for a number of years now. When it comes to scoring a try, there needs to be clear separation from the ball and the hand and the ball carrier, which means you need to see a gap on video for that try to be disallowed, especially if the on-field decision is a try. And if the TMO has to overrule the try, there needs to be clear and obvious evidence that the ball has left the hand with a clear gap for that to be overruled. Now, a lot of people were arguing with this, so let's have a look at this short clip of the try and let's get an official interpretation of the law and see if this will try or not. So we can do this together as a community. Let's see this. So this was by the Honduras. What's his name? Let's get his name up. Matawalu here. That's running with the ball. He reaches out. The ball is still in touch with his hand. No separation, no separation. So if this wasn't a try, if this wasn't an attempt for a try, this will be a knock on. But because he's going for a try, there needs to be a separation between the ball and the hand for this to be a no try. And there's no evidence that the ball has lost contact with his hand or elbow at any point during this sequence. So this is 100% try. Now, you might be thinking like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's get this international test referee, Wang Barnes, 111 test caps, including the Rugby World Cup final. One of the best referees in the world, despite, some of you Kiwis might remember him for whatever. There's a lot of people think it's very controversial, but he's still one of the most experienced, the best referees in the world. Let him explain this, how this works, what separation means in scoring a try. And this, by the way, 2 years ago. So this has been changed for years now, and yet in Super Rugby, we still don't know the rules. It's just mind-boggling. So let's hear what Mr. Wang Barnes has to say about when it comes to about scoring the tries.
The hand might leave the hand but rolls down the arm, maybe even down to the chest, and then it is pressed down. So no separation from the hand to the arm, and then pressed down. That would be a try. That's all you need to be.
So no separation, that's one example. There's another example as well when it comes to like a bouncing ball.
The referee in the TMO and press, push down. If it's off the air and then ground, pushes it down. Not an issue, try, score. But what about if it's off the air and then grounded and pushed down by the back of the arm? No separation from this point to the floor and pressed down. That would be a try.
You see? That is the law for over 2 years. And yet in Super Rugby, they still don't understand this. There's no separation whatsoever between the arm, the hand, and the ball and the ground when it was grounded. At any point, not just when it's during the grounding, at any point going into this, there's not a single point where there is a gap between the ball and the arm. There's no gap, still no gap. At this point, it would consider this a knock on, but because he's going for a try, there's no separation between the arm and the ball. This is the try. So, again, this has been a recurring issue at Super Rugby. I just don't know what is going on with their referees. Why does this keep happening? It's just, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is there will be a test match and a try like this will be given, and then the commentators will be complaining. All the fans will be posting Instagrams on the social medias about the referees cheating, when this had been a law for multiple years, and Super Rugby has failed to deliver the changes to the fans for multiple years now, and it's gonna be eventually come back and make everybody look like idiots when this occurs in a test rugby. And yeah, so really unfortunate. That should have been a try for the Endurers, and was scraped off due to 100% a wrong decision. Now, the Brumbies' performance, I thought the Brumbies, like I said, handled the kicking quite well, like they did against the Hurricanes the week before, but the discipline was a massive issue. The set piece, when it comes to the attack lineout, was okay, but the maul wasn't really going forward. But the one thing the Brumbies did do really well when it comes to their defense is the breakdown. They were able to get a lot of that breakdown turnover, especially towards the end of the second half when the crunch time came in, was able to turn over the ball multiple times to defuse the Drua threat, getting themselves out of trouble. So that was probably the only positive out of tonight. I think Stephen Larkin will look at a lot of the penalties and really have a good look at that and work with that the team over the week. And I think the one other thing that did go well with the Brumbies is that their execution with the set play was much more clinical and much more structured than the Endurers. The Brumbies didn't have that many opportunities to score tries, but it was just executed perfectly, almost perfectly every time, and it was leading to very high strike rates when they did get those opportunities. So yes, let's have a look at the match stats of the game and get this review underway. 250 run meters for the Brumbies to 341 for the Endurers. 10 turnovers conceded. The Brumbies 8 for the Endurers. Really, really well done for both teams to minimizing those turnovers, and 133 tackles made, 32 missed tackles for the Brumbies. A little bit on the high end. The Drua really well done, 93 tackles made, 15 missed tackles. Kicks in play, the Brumbies, there wasn't that much of a kicking game despite the rain. I thought there would be more of a kicking game. Brumbies were able to control the game with 19 kicks overall and 11 kicks from the Drua. 100% kicking for both teams was goal kicking for both teams, really well done. 2 lineouts lost for the Drua out of 13. No lineout loss for the Brumbies. There was 1 scrum lost against the Brumbies. Not let alone there were multiple penalties given out against the scrum as well for Fijian feet. 0 scrum loss. This was a massive win for the Drua up front in that scrummaging with that physicality. Really, really well done. And then the penalty count, 17 penalties conceded the Brumbies, only 1 yellow card. Yeah, should have been more than that. 9 penalties conceded for the Drua, especially that 1 yellow card would have been a yellow card in any situation. Because it was cynical, killing the ball of the breakdown. Should have been a yellow card anyway. So just the repeated penalties should have yielded at least another yellow card for the Drua there as well. So the overall point summary. The Brumbies showed their execution, the excellence of execution at set piece. Only 5 minutes into the game, they had they had a penalty. They didn't go for the penalty. They went for the maul. The maul wasn't going far, but they went out. They would just build a couple quick balls. The ball came out really flat ball from Harrison Goddard to Len Ikitau. Just bang, punch straight through the gang line and over the try line. 7 points to 0 for the Brumbies. 8 minutes into the game. The Brumbies again just building inside the Fijian half. A nice crossfield kick from Noala Losio, spotting space behind, straight into Andy Muirhead, who got really close. And then there was pick and go from the forwards, got on the try line, did not score. And then another short crash ball from Alan Alatoa, the returning captain, second game back from injuries, 14 points to 0. There was some good defense from the Brumbies. The Drua wasn't able to capitalize. 34 minutes in, they get a penalty. They decided to take 3 points. To get themselves on the ball, 3 points to 14. 36 minutes into the game, the Brumbies got themselves again another penalty. They went for the line out just around 22 meters inside the in the Drua half. They went for the maul, didn't go anywhere. The ball came out to Tua in the inside center position. This was pretty much a classic rugby league play. Just nice little grubber behind the 13. Ran this beautiful angle straight through, scooped it up, try under this post. It was absolutely beautiful. Ikitau gets his second try, 21 points to 3. I know it's a rugby league move. I should be enjoying it so much, but this is a classic move from rugby league. We see this a lot. 39 minutes in the game, just before halftime, the Drua really needed to strike, kill themselves in the game by striking back before halftime. They went for the line out. They backed themselves on that rolling maul against the Brumbies, right? Stuck with the Wallabies. They roll one way, then more split, and then roll down the other side. Try time, beautifully executed. 21 points to 10 for the Fijian Drua. Second half, 45 minutes in. Like I said, the Drua had penalties inside the Brumbies 22. They went for the scrum right in front of the goal line. Penalties after penalties. And then, like I said, Matawalu went in, looking like he scored. The TMO make a wrong decision to scrap the try. But it doesn't matter. Lots of penalties being stacked up. Eventually, 50 minutes into the game, Harry Vella got sent off for playing the ball on the ground cynically. There should have been should have been more. Yeah, anyway, was sent off for playing the ball on the ground. And this was without a warning from the referee. 50 minutes in, after Harry Vella was sent off, another scrum. The ball was, it immediately goes into a penalty, and then the ball was popped out from the number 8 to, I think it was Kuravoli at this point. Yeah, Kuravoli got the ball, went in for the try. 21 points to 17 for the Drua coming back. And the Brumbies following this part was lots of missed tackles everywhere. There were penalties given out everywhere. No, I think there was 1 warning overall, but no further yellow cards from Nick Berry. 65 minutes into the game, what was it? Was it 65? 65 minutes in the game. The Brumbies once again had a penalty. They went for the maul, and it wasn't going anywhere. And the Reimer pick and go, and man, it looked like he was held up way above. He just completely muscled his way down for a try. It was incredible. It was just massive play from him, getting this one through. 28 points to the 17. Brute force through. A few minutes later, another penalty against the Brumbies. Drua, I thought this was the wrong decision here. They should have gone for the try because there were 28 points to 17 down, but they decided to take the 3 points here. They ticked the scoreboard up to 28 points to 20, but I didn't think that was the right decision there from the Drua. I thought they should have just, kept on pressing with their with their set piece, especially they're having dominance on that. 75 minutes, another scrum penalty for the Drua, and then in the last 5 minutes or so, Marcy was able to break through the Brumbies defense down the right-hand side twice, and then with no follow-up from the Druas to finish that off to a try. And boy, that was close. And the Brumbies fans were just having heart attacks in the GIO Stadium in the cold winter nights. And man, that was, if that had been just one offload there out of the two line breaks, this could be a completely different finish for the game. And really unfortunate for the Drua, but really, really good try. Really well done in the set piece. And that's final score, 28 points to 20. Let me know about your thoughts about the referee. And it just blows my mind how it's multiple years now they've changed the grounding law for when it comes to scoring a try, and yet you have referees and TMOs don't know the changes in Super Rugby. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good week. Cheers.